Hey, and welcome back to the Wildling podcast. Today, I decided to not do what I had originally planned. I'm doing the Dream Life method still with the series, but I realized because it is something that is so important for supporting your nervous system, for manifestations, even if it is not necessarily within what you're trying to manifest as part of your dream life, it's still important. And that is your health and fitness. And that is going to include your nutrition as well. So I want to kind of talk about that more. I feel like everything is all messed up here. There we go. I'm trying to get situated. Sorry. And I am still sick. If you couldn't hear it in my voice, I'm definitely still sick, and that has been not fun at all. And so I sound off as well, and it's harder to think, but here we are. So, health and fitness, and why does it matter with manifestation? Because if you are not focusing on your own health, then how is that going to help you live your dream life? And if you are doing things that is really bad for you, how is that really going to help you live your dream life? How is that going to make things sustainable? It is important in so many different ways. So if you didn't even consider having that as part of your manifestation, as part of your dream life, then maybe it's time to start considering it. And I'm going to give you some tips as well, even though health and fitness, it is such a personal thing. I'm going to talk mostly about the stuff that is good across the board for everyone, but I do want to make it clear that, first of all, I caution listening to people that make health and fitness, nutrition, whatever, seem like a one size fits all. It's not. It is not. It is a deeply personal thing, and it is also going to be different for men than it is for women. Our needs are different, and there are some helpful, not a lot, unfortunately, but there is some helpful information out there, other podcasts as well that talk about female specific health and fitness that could be better. Like Huberman podcast had someone on, and I cannot think of her name, and I should have looked it up, who researches specifically for women and how our bodies deal with fitness and our hormones and things like that. Like it is very, very important. And there have not been a lot of studies done for women specifically. So some things out there when it comes to fitness, it's based off of men and a male body, male hormones, things like it's so very different for us. So it is not going to work the same, and that needs to be considered when you are working on your own health and fitness. And if you're working as part of your manifestation or a section of your manifestations to have your dream body and your fitness goals, whatever they may be, just really consider how does that work for you as an individual. Also, if you currently don't even work out, it is going to be so much better for you to work on things that are going to be in more bite-sized pieces, that is going to be sustainable in the long run, than to try to do too much too quickly and you not want to stick with it because that absolutely happens a lot. I was a personal trainer and I cannot tell you, like, peak season, everybody knows, is like January, and then like right before summer when everybody's like, oh shit, I didn't get my beach body. Let me try to last minute make that happen. And January, new year, new me, people, and it's fine. It's never too late to start on a health and fitness journey ever. It does matter though how you are doing it, how you're going about it. And if you're one of those people that even if it's like a specific kind of goal, like I want to run a half marathon this year, but I don't work out at all right now. But by September, or when I don't do marathons, I don't know when they are, I don't remember. But whenever that peak season hits, then start smaller than that. Obviously, it would not be a good thing for your body to just go out and run a half marathon tomorrow if you're not trained for it. Not saying that you absolutely couldn't. You probably, a lot of people can mentally push through it, and that's okay. But we're looking for longer term sustainable things that you can do, and that is going to be so much more beneficial than getting into that frenzy and then getting away from it because that tends to happen a lot. In January, there's going to be people that are like, I'm 5 days a week, I'm hitting that gym. And then by February, you're over it and you're not sticking to it at all. So, what can you do instead? And if you want to do that health and fitness, adding it in to part of your lifestyle and part of your dream life and part of your body goals, then what does that look like for you that is going to be the most sustainable? Maybe you're not quite ready to go to a gym yet. Maybe you can't afford to go to a gym yet. Then start doing things at home. There are so many free resources that you could use, free YouTube videos that you could follow along with. You can do at-home Pilates, you can do at-home yoga, you can do at-home HIIT training, you can do at home so many different things. So try different ones. Try different ones and see what you like. Maybe that could be the goal is week one, I try 3 days, not five, but 1 to 3 days of yoga at home. Next week, Pilates. Following week, HIIT training. Like, what is that going to look like for you? What is it that you want to explore the most? Try that out. Is it dance? Try it at home. There are endless possibilities on what you can do. So don't feel like, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, then just what is it that seems like the most fun? Start with that. And again, you don't have to do it for 5, 6, 7 days a week. You can start with even just one. And that is going to be better than not at all. And just build off of that one. Like every Sunday, I'm taking a walk. Every Sunday, I'm hitting 10,000 steps. And then you do that. And then the next week, you hit it again. And then next week, you hit it again. Maybe your goal is to um, climb some hills you've got in your neighborhood that you've never taken on before. Maybe it's to go for a hike. And even though the weather isn't your favorite kind of weather, it's still doable. So maybe do it anyway. And just really try to reach those smaller but more sustainable goals and then build off of it. So if you're starting with that one thing and then you hit it, then what's the next thing? And or even make it more often, like every Sunday I hit my 10,000 steps and then okay, that feels great. I've done that for 3 weeks. And now I want to start doing that on Sundays and Wednesdays. And so just keep building off of it. That is going to be so much better than not doing it at all. And it's also going to be so much better than to get in that initial frenzy and then fall off of it completely, because that will never really be good for you. And something else that everyone can do that is good for everyone is to drink enough water, to drink more water. And even if you hate water, you need to find what is going to make it tolerable for you. I used to hate water. I used to hate water. I get it. I drank only sodas and juice. And it was extremely difficult for me to get off of those sodas. Like I was addicted to them. It was so hard for me to stop drinking sodas. I would start, stop, start, stop. I could not last. I just could not do it for the longest time. And I'm not even sure what happened when it finally shifted, where I just finally got enough determination to get off of the sodas that I finally stuck with it. And it's still not even necessarily easy sometimes. Like particularly in the summer, I don't know why, but I still like 10 freaking years later crave soda. The cravings still hit. Like why? I don't know, but they do, and I don't do it. I will not drink a soda no matter how badly I want it. I do, however, drink a lot of water. And that wasn't easy in the beginning because I didn't like water. I would never drink it. If I drank it, it was like while I was working out, and that was about it. Like I was probably chronically dehydrated, and that's not a good thing. But I finally became a water drinker. And if you need to infuse your water with some good stuff like cucumbers, fruit, mint, if you like to drink toothpaste, then add things in there that's going to make it more tolerable for you. And lemon water is so good for you. Adding that kind of stuff in is good for you. It's not going to be a bad thing. If that's how you tolerate water, then do it. And you can also add a little sea salt and a tiny bit of honey for more absorption. Then yeah, that's definitely a good thing to do as well. You do not want to overdo packets of things. I not even going to recommend packets of things. They're usually bad. You don't want to overdo electrolytes and things like that. Yes, you can overdo electrolytes. So, yeah, get your water in, but don't overdo the unnecessary things. And if you are one of those people that's like, I can't become a water drinker, I cannot stand peeing that often. Well, just remember this. If you are peeing a lot in the beginning of drinking your water, your body is trying to get rid of those toxins that it needs to get rid of and has been hanging on to because you have made yourself chronically dehydrated. And you will get through that stage where you're not going to have to pee as often. You have to let yourself get through that part. If you want to help your body out, if you want to be more healthy, you have to drink enough water. You need to drink it often as well. It cannot just be like, trying to tug it in the afternoon because you haven't had any water and then you're done and that's it for the day. It needs to be a consistent amount of water and it needs to be a good amount of water too. I try to drink about 2 liters a day at least, and that also will depend on my activity level, the heat, depends on different things for sure. But I definitely notice when I don't drink enough water. And you will hit that point where you're realizing that your body is telling you, like, we need water over here, get to chugging. So you will get used to it. And drinking room temperature lemon water, like a cup of it, mug, whatever, first thing in the morning is really good for you. And it's something that I myself need to get back into. I used to be so good about it, and then I just kind of stopped taking care of myself. And that was one of the things that I stopped doing. And by stop taking care of myself, I mean like I stopped doing my lemon water every day. I stopped doing my celery juice every day. I stopped working out consistently. I haven't worked out consistently in over a year at this point. I stopped taking care of myself. So it is definitely as part of my goals to get better about that now because of my health stuff that I have now, I can't just fall off in that like eating whatever I want. I can't do that. So I haven't done that part, but if I could, I would. But it is part of getting back into self-care. That's what it boils down to is self-care. If you are serious about your fitness and nutrition, then you are more serious about your self-care. Self-care goes so much further than just having a skincare routine. Self-care is all of the avenues that is taking care of yourself. And if part of your goals are anti-aging, then you have to look at your fitness and nutrition. You have to look at your water intake. You have to get away from the things that are toxic to your body. And if you're struggling like with your nervous system being in survival mode and you need to give things that nourish your nervous system and nourish your adrenals and all the other systems of your body, you have to look at your fitness and nutrition and your water intake. Remove the things that are really bad for you. And a lot of people don't want to hear it, whether it's for anti-aging or your overall health. You need to stay away from alcohol. You need to stay away from it. It is a toxin and it is not good for you. At the very least, cut it way back. Cut it way back. And if you're thinking, well, I can't, I have to drink every single weekend at least. And I'm going to make up for it on the weekends, then you might have a problem. If you think I can't go every day or every other day, you might have a problem. If you think I can't go X amount of time without alcohol, you might have a bigger problem on your hands that you are not yet willing to face. And maybe it's time to face it because something like that should never have such a chokehold on you that you can't give it up, that you can't cut back on it. Why is it that important to you? And if it is for social reasons, then get better friends because that should never factor in either. That should not be why you all hang out or a big part of your all's hanging out time. Like if you have to have alcohol while you hang out, maybe all of you have some issues that you're not willing to face yet, and maybe all of you need to reevaluate. And if you're all good friends, maybe instead of going out drinking on Saturday, you could go for a hike instead or a healthy kind of class instead. Replace it with something healthier and better for you. Do it as a group. Be supportive of each other. And same as if you are in partnership, it is so important to be in alignment with each other's goals and helping each other reach them instead of helping sabotage them. If you are with someone where you're trying to give up things that are bad for you and trying to implement things that are good for you and they're sabotaging that, they are not good for you. And maybe they don't see it that way, but they need to see it that way because it is the truth. And you need to be that for yourself. You need to be your own accountability buddy when nobody else is going to be. You also, yeah, of course, it's great to have someone that is going to help you out, but sometimes it's just you against yourself. And sometimes you have to look at it as I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday. And whatever gets you through to make these healthy changes is going to be so much better for you than not doing it at all or getting into that frenzy where you're doing a lot of it in the very beginning and then you can't sustain it because you did too much and you're burned out and it's just not sustainable anymore. That is not good either. So, those are definitely some things to consider. And in terms of manifestation, if you are going for body goals, I feel like that is typically the category that it goes into. Body goals, health and fitness goals, whatever. It's like in this category of your vision board. Then I urge you, okay, to pick the visuals, photos, videos, whatever. Pick the visuals that look most like you, that look most like your body type. If it's your dream body, but it looks absolutely nothing like you, then how is that really going to work? Like, you still have a particular bone structure, you still have a particular way of how your muscle mass is obviously like, yeah, you can improve on that, but it's still going to be different. Like, men, for example, there are some men that are just scrawny. Like they're on the scrawny side. They're just skinny. And so it's going to be really hard for them to put on a bunch of muscle. Whereas there are other men that just naturally have that bulkier muscle about them. It's going to be a lot easier for them to put on muscle. So, what is your body type? And same with like with women, if you've got childbearing hips and you're trying to look at somebody that's got the oh my God, the hit my mic, the stick figure frame, that doesn't fit your body type. And I also highly encourage you to not pick surgeries. Do stuff that is natural. Natural is so much more sustainable, so much more beautiful. And if you cannot accept your own beauty, then you have a bigger problem on your hands than just trying to obtain this standard that is totally unrealistic. And it is something to get help for and to look further into. Why do you feel like you need surgeries or procedures to feel better about yourself? Why do you feel like you need that? And if you're wanting fillers as part of your dream look, why? Why do you think that looks so good that you need to do that to yourself? Particularly because there have been studies that have shown that fillers do not dissolve even if they use that dissolvent. They just migrate. And it looks terrible and it does not age well at all. It looks weird. It does not look good. It does not look natural. Even if the first year you it's like, "Oh, well they improved." Okay, it's still the beginning phase. It does not age well. And I haven't seen anybody yet where it has actually made them look better, especially long term. Try to stay away from shit like that. Maybe that's my personal preference. If like do what you want to do if you want to go get these things done. I'm just saying just at least look within yourself as to why you think that's necessary. And are you needing to do some shadow work? Are you needing to do some more work with self-love and self-acceptance? That's going to be way more important than just trying to look like everybody else that they're trying to morph themselves into these not even really not natural looks. Maybe some people really just prefer the unnatural look. But if that's what you're going for, at least explore the whys and trying to come at it from the healthiest mindset possible. And look into absolutely any sort of surgery, any sort of cosmetic procedure. Look into the risks, look into the negative side effects, and know that just because it looks good on one person doesn't mean it's going to have that same effect on you. And it doesn't mean that your body's going to handle it like the success stories. Even when it comes to breast implants, some women don't necessarily have problems. A lot of women do. And sometimes you could go in thinking that they're going to look great, and then you come out and they don't actually look like you thought they were going to look. Or you end up with breast implant illness, chronic illnesses. Like these things come along with it that you didn't even know were a thing because maybe the doctor didn't bother to tell you. They're just trying to tell you the good stuff of it, or they're just there for when you tell them what size you want or what injections you want, and that's that. Look into it yourself. Research it all yourself. Moving on from that. If you are doing a manifestation board with a partner and you're sharing a board, I think that could be a great thing. Or if you're doing a separate board. But yeah, I think doing any sort of manifestations with your partner. And I say vision board just because that is the most widely talked about method as part of your manifestation ritual, your manifestation, reaching your goals, all of those things. It doesn't have to be a board. You don't have to create a board at all. Maybe it's writing things down. Maybe it's doing a video, manifestation video where you've got visuals in video format because we've all kind of trained our brains with videos nowadays. And maybe it's a Pinterest board. Maybe it's none of it. I don't know. It's just whatever. Whatever your methodology is, or maybe you do all of it, but or listening to guided meditations, listening to manifestation music. There's just so many different things that you can use, and you can use all of it if you want. All of it can be great. All of it can really help, like, make that sink into your subconscious. Like, this is our lifestyle that we're going for. And it's already mine. I'm just stepping into that timeline. However it is for you. But if you are in partnership, I do recommend going at it together and really getting on the same page about what your dream life looks like as individuals and as a couple. And that is also just such a good thing to do together, not only to be on the same page and to help support each other in these endeavors, in crushing these goals that you have, and reminding each other So even for if you're trying to give up sodas and your partner knows that and they see you going for a soda, then they need to be able to step in and be like, hey, that's not in alignment with what you wanted. Like, what's going on here? And I don't know what your partnership is like. Maybe you all can have like a good conversation about it, or maybe you're the type of person that's like, nah, that's way too soft for me. I'm gonna need somebody to be like, you better put that the fuck down right now. I don't know, whatever works for you, that's not actually a bad thing. And that's something else that you might think at first that a more harsh approach is going to be needed, but then you realize in that moment, like, actually, you just pissed me off. Then you need to be able to voice that and be like, yeah, we're not going to approach it that way again because that wasn't it. Pivot. But yes, as a partner, it can be so good to do it together. That way, you can not only support each other's goals and have, you're building a life together. You already have a life together. So why wouldn't you want to be on the same page about your dream life and how you're going to create it together and how you're going to improve it together? Maybe you're already living your dream life. There's just other things that you have goals on and more ambition on, or things that you want to change. And maybe your next step is that you really want a baby, or maybe your next step is that you all want to get a house together, or maybe your next step is you want to start a business together. Whatever it may be, there's still more life to live. So, what does that look like as a dream life, as a couple? And it's so good to be able to talk about what your individual goals are and then what is it as a couple. And if you all have totally different aesthetics, then you have to come to a common ground on that. Because if you're going to create visuals to go along with your manifestations, the visual needs to be in alignment with your own aesthetic. And so if you and your partner don't really have the same style, then you're going to have to come to an agreement with what it should look like for both of you. What's that common ground? What is that compromise there? Because if you like a really dark aesthetic and your partner likes a really beige aesthetic, then what's the middle ground here? Because if you're having a life together, then you're gonna have to figure out your aesthetics. And if you're trying to manifest together, those aesthetics are going to matter. And that's another part of when you're creating these visuals, you have to do stuff that not only, again, with your fitness and nutrition, if you're going for body goals, then it needs to look most like you rather than someone that looks totally different from you. And the same goes for everything else in your visuals needs to fit your aesthetic. So if you are trying to create your dream business or your dream house or whatever, whatever it may be, it needs to look most like your aesthetic. Like I, having a darker aesthetic, dark academia, spooky bitch, Halloween all year kind of thing, then sorry, I have to adjust in my chair. I need a cough so bad and I'm trying so hard not to. Because I don't edit. I don't edit anything. We're keeping it real natural over here, okay? Anyway, because my I have that darker aesthetic, that gothy girl thing, I am not going to choose things that are pastels. I'm not going to choose things that is very bright beige, beachy. I'm not doing any of that because that's not my aesthetic. And the beach is not my favorite place. So I'm not choosing stuff that doesn't go in alignment with that. And the same goes for your own visuals. What visuals are in alignment with your aesthetics or your dream aesthetic? Maybe right now you've got one that you don't necessarily feel in alignment with anymore. So, what's the new one? And that is what needs to be added. And the same goes for if you're trying to manifest money, which I'll do a lot more on money manifestation stuff. But if you are trying to manifest money, so you're looking at luxury photos to add or luxury items or whatever because that signals wealth to you. But that's not the lifestyle you want. Like you could care less about having a private jet, having a Rolex, having a, supercar, whatever the case may be. Like maybe what you're actually wanting is a homestead, then those are two different things. Like, yeah, it takes money for them both, but those are two totally different aesthetics. You know, if you're wanting that country life, but you're looking at the city life because both needs money, like they're not in alignment with each other. They are different lifestyles. They are different looks as well. So pick out things that are in alignment with what fits your aesthetic. And I kind of got off of the health and fitness thing, which was supposed to be the focal point, but it matters and it is important. Pick things that are the closest to you personally, you as a couple, and get on the same page about it. If you're doing it all on your own, that's how a lot of people do it, maybe even most people. But again, if you're going to be in partnership, then it will be really great to do it together. If you're not in partnership, but you're looking for a partnership and someone is on your vision board, like calling in a partner is part of what you want, then you need to definitely take that into consideration. Like, what is that dream partner? How do they act? How do they treat me? How do they treat others? Really go into the character and morals of them beyond everything else, but add that into your manifestation as well and into your visuals as well. And don't try to get too caught up on exactly what they look like along with everything else. But for example, if there are specific morals and values that you want your dream partner to have, that needs to be on there. Whether it's a quote that feels in alignment or if it's a photo that's really representative of that, add those in. When it comes to visuals, like you want a ultra masculine man, and part of that is looking the part, then maybe add a little bit of those photos as well, but maybe not too much because if you're kind of training yourself to look for that one particular look, then you might end up missing out on the man that has all of the qualities that you want, but he's got blonde hair instead of brown hair. Like he's got no tattoos when your guy had tattoos. Like it could even just come down to simple things like that because you have trained your brain to look for something so specific that you overlook the one that's got everything else. And same with style. Like he might be perfect in every single way except the style of, that guy over there is different than what you've trained your brain to look for and desire and want the most. Don't overlook your dream partner just because you have done that. And um yeah, so anyway, health and fitness as well. Again, just really focusing on things that are going to be very in alignment with what is health and fitness instead of just picking out some visuals that don't look anything like you, not anything like your body type, and doing a absolute balls to the wall frenzy of fitness in the beginning and then burning out completely. That wouldn't be good. So, things that are actually in alignment and sustainable, the visuals, even if it's you picturing it in your mind, if your dream body is Adriana Lima, but that's not anywhere near what you look like, then it's not going to work out very well. It's not going to land very well either. And I feel like I'm so tired and sick that there was more that I wanted to cover and say, but my head is very clogged up and I just feel terrible. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful regardless, but also, I at this point can't even remember if I mentioned, so let me just go over this real quick, quickish. Things across the board that you can do for your health and fitness is not only to drink more water and cut out things that you know are bad for you. And if you need to do it in a way that's going to be more obtainable instead of all at once, because all at once could be too much, then do that. And if you are a meat eater, I highly recommend to stay away from anything that's factory farming. Those are absolutely horrific conditions on every level possible. And it's also not going to be healthy for you. And those meats probably have a lot of chemicals and crap in them as well. So it would be better if you could try to get with local butchers, local hunters, things that you can get it in a more humane way, which is also going to be in a healthier way. And it can also be a hell of a lot cheaper. So definitely recommend looking into that if you can. I need to sneeze so bad. Nope, it's gone. Oh, I hate that feeling. Now my head feels even more clogged up. Oh, sorry. If you can, if you want to grow your own food or look into that, definitely a good thing to look into. And if you can't, and if you can't afford farmers markets, it's understandable, but it's still going to be better to eat the produce than to eat the processed foods. So making even just the more simple changes is going to be healthier. And again, you want it to be in a sustainable way. So don't feel like you have to change absolutely everything all at once, because that might not feel really good at all. And then it'll be a lot harder to stick with. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, if you live in the States, then everything has become tainted, toxic. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the soil, it's in the seeds, it's in the food, it's in everything. It's just hard to get away from. So, yeah, it definitely is working against us to try to be healthy. But if we can take every bit that we can to make it better, that's better than nothing, of course. And also, part of your health and fitness is really looking into what's going to work for your own body. What's supportive of your own body, your own needs, your own hormones, your own health, all of it. And again, try new things. Try and see what you think you would really love. See if it's fun. If it's fun, it's going to be, you'll be more likely to stick with it than something that feels absolutely miserable. Maybe you love a dance class, but you absolutely hate a hit training. Then don't do the hit training. Like if you're not going to be, if it's torture, then don't bother. Do stuff that's more fun. And that's still going to be good for you and good for your body and listening to your body as well. And definitely focusing on recovery as well. Your body does need to have that recovery. Don't skip out on that. It is important to do active recovery, to do stretching, to do. Maybe you want a vibration plate. Maybe you want to do the yoga classes. Maybe there's just so many different things that you could try to do that is look into recovery as well, basically is what I'm saying. Look into recovery and what you can do for your body with that. And and know that it is different for men and women. It is different. We are different. We're built different. So for a man, cold plunging could be good. For women, it's not. It has studies have shown that it's not good for us to do cold plunging. So take things like that into consideration. Look into things even more. Maybe you absolutely love it and you're not going to give it up. That's fine. That's your choice. But just know that it should at least be looked into and given some consideration. And if you're a woman, look into how things affect you as a woman, and maybe look into cycle syncing and how you can support your body during your cycle. And maybe that is also a bit different for like some women don't need the most gentle exercise in their menstrual phase, and other women are like, what do you mean? I get my best lifts in when I'm in my menstrual phase. Like, that's okay too. Make the cycle syncing a personal thing where you figure out what is best for your own body. And you can track it all along the way. If that's helpful, then do that. And maybe you want to take progress photos, then do that. Maybe that'll make you feel like shit, then don't do that. If there's something online, you also need to tailor your algorithm to not make you feel shitty. So take that into consideration as well. If you are not inspired by people that are doing fitness or people living a life that is just so capital versus districts that it makes you feel bad, then don't watch it. That is so in your control to personalize your algorithm that you can change it, and you should. Particularly if you are trying to manifest, because you need your nervous system to be on board and feel good, and you need your subconscious to feel good and be on board. You need everything to be in better alignment than just being in survival mode and feeling like shit. So tailor all of what you're intaking as part of your manifestation journey. And I know this is again going off of specific health and fitness, but it could be into that as well. But yeah, what are you consuming and how is it making you feel? I highly recommend tailoring your algorithms to suit you and your goals. If it's not teaching you something, add in stuff that is teaching you what you want to learn about. If you're trying to improve your finances, then why isn't your algorithm also including things that teach you about finances and money? And if you're working on health and fitness, then why isn't your algorithm showing you that? If it's about just learning any specific thing or a bunch of things, your algorithm should be showing you that. You should be seeking it out as well. It shouldn't just be through the scrolls. Read books, listen to podcasts, find other means, methods, and endeavors that support what you're really looking for. And if anything makes you feel like shit, then try to get rid of it. And that includes your own algorithm, your own everything. If you cannot look at somebody that is fit without making you feel like shit about yourself, then maybe that's something that you should not be consuming right now. If you cannot look at somebody that's living lavishly and that not anger you, then maybe that's not something to look at right now. Maybe there's something deeper to it that you need to look into, but regardless, you cannot just consume things all the time that make you feel like shit and expect to manifest your dream life. And that includes really looking into a lot of the atrocities happening across the world, because that is going to negatively impact you. And it's not going to make you selfish to realize that you cannot consume content like that all the time and be okay. We're not even meant to be exposed to so much and just be able to handle it. So really consider what your content is, what you are consuming, TV shows as well. And yeah, like reality TV shows, which are highly played up, notice that as well. Maybe instead of that, you replace it with your favorite feel-good TV show, your comfort show that isn't obnoxious and whatever. Like, notice how things make you feel. Notice how things affect your energy. Notice if it's inspiring you or if it's draining you. Notice if it makes you feel happy or if it makes you feel scared. Pay attention and alter accordingly. Maybe you need to get rid of some people in your life that are really bad for you. Maybe you need to find a new job because the one that you're at is terrible for you. These are all things to consider, especially when you're trying to create your dream life. And if you notice that some people seem to manifest much faster and easier than others, because they're probably not in survival mode, they've probably done enough to make it happen a lot faster for them. And maybe you also need to start with something smaller, like manifesting something smaller. Don't just make every single goal something massive. Add smaller stuff in there as well and really look into like what can I do right now that's already in alignment with that. Like if doing more self-care is part of it, that or if your dream self is moving in that way, then what can you do right now that is in alignment with that? And if you're thinking, well, part of that is having this amazing skincare routine, but that's so expensive. Okay, well, you can do stuff at home. Look into it. Start implementing what you can right now that is your dream self, that is your dream life. Anyway, there's so much to cover with this stuff, and I don't honestly know how many episodes I'm going to end up doing, especially if I end up doing a different subjects in one, but there's more to talk about and cover. I feel like this episode has gotten so freaking long, and I probably didn't even really cover all the things that I would have liked to cover on health and fitness, but oopsies. But did I mention stay away from substances? It's not good for you across the board. Some things are just obviously not going to be good for you across the board, no matter who you are. And there are things that you can implement that is better for you across the board, no matter who you are. And then there's going to be things that you need to tailor to your own individual self. And yeah, that's important. And maybe you're someone that needs to meal prep and you'll eat healthier that way. Maybe you hate meal prepping and that's okay. Maybe you hate leftovers. So if you, there's no freaking way that you would ever prep ahead of time because you're not going to eat leftovers. Okay, then don't do that. There needs to be things that are going to be in alignment with how you can make this sustainable for yourself. And that is going to be very nuanced and individual. But anyway, so I think that's enough for today. I don't feel good. But keep working towards your dream life, your dream self, all the goals, all the things. And I will try to keep putting out content that helps support that. And yeah, try to make the upcoming year, the new year, I don't know, what is today? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Try to make it great and just keep getting better and better and better. And we'll keep going with the content. Okay, take care of yourself. Bye. Hope to see you next time.